हेलो एवरीवन, दृष्टि सीयूईटी में आप सबका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। आई रियली होप कि आप लोग सब बिल्कुल ठीक होंगे। तो आज जैसा कि आप देख सकते हैं, हम डिस्कस करने वाले हैं साइकोलॉजी का क्वेश्चन पेपर, जो कि सीयूईटी 2025 का पेपर है। ठीक है, सो चलिए हम क्वेश्चंस को डिस्कस करना स्टार्ट करते हैं। सो इफ यू टेक अ लुक एट द क्वेश्चंस, यू विल रियलाइज कि क्वेश्चंस जो हैं वो इजी हैं, बहुत डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चंस आपसे नहीं पूछे गए हैं। ठीक है, तो हम शुरू करेंगे। वी विल स्टार्ट विद आवर क्वेश्चन डिस्कशन। ऑलराइट, सो चलो स्टार्ट करते हैं। थोड़ा सा मैं इसको जूम इन कर रही हूं ताकि आप लोगों को दिख सके अच्छे से। तो पहला क्वेश्चन क्या है? एन एडवर्टाइजमेंट, ओके, फॉर कुकिंग फूड इन प्रेशर कुकर पॉइंट्स आउट दैट दिस सेव्स फ्यूल एंड इज इकोनॉमिकल. What message characteristic is being highlighted in the advertisement? Emotional, rational, familial, or personal? So this question is from attitude and social cognition, all right? जिसमें कि हम attitude change की बात करते हैं. This is the message characteristic which you are sending, right? तो message characteristic जो है वो rational हो सकते हैं, emotional हो सकते हैं, okay? तो यहाँ पे since क्योंकि बात की जा रही है, they talking about the logical aspect of cooking in a pressure cooker. So इसका सही आंसर क्या हो जाएगा? इसका सही आंसर है ऑप्शन 2, यानी कि rational, okay? चलिए, moving on to the next question. Okay. तो अगली क्वेश्चन पे हम चलने वाले हैं, और वो कौन सा क्वेश्चन है? सो यहाँ पे हम क्या देखेंगे? अनन्या इज, अभी थोड़ा सा आप देखेंगे, दिस इज द केस बेस्ड क्वेश्चन. ओके, तो जो केस बेस्ड क्वेश्चन होते हैं उसमें हमें थोड़ा सा ज्यादा फोकस करना होता है, बिकॉज थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट हो सकता है. So Ananya is pursuing science stream and aims to be a doctor someday. However, Ananya strums her guitar and sings along whenever she is free. Although she is not a great singer, her spirits lift when she sings along. What is this attribute called? ठीक है, so यहाँ पे हम क्या देख पा रहे हैं? What is this attribute called? She is pursuing her science stream, alright, और उनका जो aim है वो क्या है? वो डॉक्टर बनना है. Fine. एंड अनन्या इज, बट ऑल्सो शी इज अ सिंगर. वो गिटार जो है वो स्ट्रम कर रही है. फाइन, बहुत अच्छी सिंगर नहीं है, मतलब उसमें एप्टीट्यूड नहीं है सिंगर बनने का, लेकिन खुशी मिलती है उनको जो है वो गाना गाने से. ठीक है, सो इसमें क्या हो जाएगा? अच्छा, इसमें देखिए इंटेलिजेंस भी हो सकता है, एप्टीट्यूड भी हो सकता है. ठीक है, लेकिन एप्टीट्यूड में हम क्या देख रहे हैं? दैट शी डजंट हैव द एप्टीट्यूड ऑफ बिकमिंग अ ग्रेट सिंगर, isn't it? She is already a good doctor, which means she has an aptitude of becoming a good doctor. लेकिन यहाँ पे किस चीज का एप्टीट्यूड नहीं है? सिंगर बनने का. लेकिन फिर भी करती हैं, क्यों? क्योंकि खुशी मिलती है. तो खुशी मिल रही है यानी कि उनका इंटरेस्ट है, शी इज इंटरेस्टेड इन इट. सो द करेक्ट आंसर इज गोइंग टू बी 3, विच इज योर इंटरेस्ट. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. ऑलराइट, the ability to monitor one's own and others' emotions, to discriminate among them and to use the information to guide one's thinking and action is called A. Social intelligence, B. Emotional intelligence, C. Interpersonal intelligence, and 4. Abstract intelligence. ठीक है, तो जैसा कि आप सब जानते हैं guys, this is an actual definition of emotional intelligence. ठीक है, emotional intelligence क्या चीज है? कि जब हम अपने emotions, when we are able to understand our emotions, when we are able to differentiate between two of our emotions, when we are able to understand the other person's emotion, right? At the same time, we are also able to discriminate in those emotions and use the information which is available to us for the betterment of that person. That is known as what? That is known as your emotional intelligence. ठीक है, so the correct answer becomes 2, which is emotional intelligence. Okay, next question. Okay, Coe's block design test contains a number of wooden blocks to be arranged in a design within a given period of time. This is an example of performance, non-verbal, verbal, aptitude test. Okay, so Coe's block design test is an intelligence test, right? Intelligence test can be performance, it can be non-verbal, which means you'll have to give written responses, all right? It can be verbal, which means you have to give verbal responses, okay? So course block design, because it requires you to finish the exercise in a certain time period. The correct answer for this is your performance test, okay? So it is part of what? It is part of your performance test, okay? Okay, next. Now, Arshia has an IQ of 135. So any person who has an IQ of above 130 is usually considered what? Gifted. She's an all-rounder, all right? She not only scores at the top of her class, but she's also an international chess player, a remarkable basketball player as well. So आप देख सकते हैं that she has a wide variety of interest and she's performing exceptionally well in a wide variety of areas. So she's definitely what? She's definitely gifted, okay? She's not talented. Talented is when you have exceptional ability in a particular area, one area. But here you can see that she has particular abilities in a variety of areas, okay? Next. Okay. So आपसे यहाँ से पूछा गया है कि identify the facets of intelligence from the Indian tradition, ठीक है? आपको क्या identify करना है? Indian tradition के जो facets हैं, उनको आपको identify करना है, ठीक है? So we all know that in Indian tradition, you have certain facets, okay? First of all, Indian tradition is more amalgamation of cognitive, all right? At the same time, it would also be about the relationship that you have with the outside world, okay? So it focuses on what? It focuses on both. It focuses on cognitive and non-cognitive functions. I hope you all remember the definition, fine? So there were 4 competences in all together. There was, obviously you have the cognitive capacity, fine. Social competence was there, emotional competence was there, and entrepreneurial competence was there. So A, B, C and E, okay. So 3 becomes your correct answer, all right. Next question. Okay. So here you have to match, all right. यहाँ पे match the following है, okay. So you have list 1 with list 2. Poets and writers, they would have what? They would have obviously linguistic skills they have to have, fine. Scientists would have logical and mathematical, okay. Philosophers and spiritual leaders would have intrapersonal, like they have to understand themselves. So it is going to be C. And then athletes and dancers would have bodily kinesthetic, okay. So A is 4 over here, fine. Okay. B is 3 over here. C is going to become the decisive one, all right. So C is 1. C is 1 here in D, okay. So D becomes your correct answer, okay. You're already done with this? All right. Let's focus on the next question. An in-depth study of the individual in terms of their psychological attributes, psychological history in the context of their psychosocial and physical environment is known as interview, self-report, psychological test, case study. Now you all know that these are what? These are methods of research, okay. These are what? These are your methods of research on the basis of psychological attributes, okay. So interview is, like the initial step which you will find in almost every test, okay. Then you have self-report where we give factual information about ourselves. Then we have psychological test. There are a number of psychological tests for intelligence, for personality, fine. And then we have case study. And what is case study? Case study is basically a very in-depth study of an individual, okay. So the correct answer to this question is 4, case study, ठीक है? Okay. Next. All right. Which of the following can be categorized under the verbal test? ठीक है? So what are the options that we have over here? We have the Stanford Binet test, Alexander's pass-along test, Raven's progressive matrices, draw a man test. ठीक है? Now this question is actually for you to answer. All right? So इस question का answer आप मुझे देंगे comment section में. Fine. So it's for you to answer. आप मुझे बताएंगे कि इसका आंसर कहाँ से होगा. अच्छा, मैं इसलिए कह रही हूँ आपको ये खुद आंसर करने के लिए, बिकॉज ये जब मैंने क्लास ली थी, सो आई टोल्ड यू ऑल दैट दिस इज फ्रॉम अ बॉक्स, ऑलराइट, एंड दिस बॉक्स इज एक्चुअली वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सो यू हैव टू रिमेंबर दैट बॉक्स, only then will you be able to answer this question. All right, so this question is for you to answer. I will be waiting for your answer in the comment section below, so please do. And if you have doubts, if you don't understand the answer, do let me know. We'll definitely clear it. Chalo. Next is you have to arrange. Okay, arrange the psychosexual stages of personality development. You have to arrange them in correct sequence. Fine. So you have anal, oral, genital, latency, phallic. ठीक है? तो सबसे पहले क्या जाएगा? Obviously you will have oral. Fine. Okay, let's arrange this like this. So first of all you'll have oral, so you'll have B. ठीक है? Then you will have anal, then you will have so B हो जाएगा A. All right. Then you will have what? Then you will have then you have the phallic stage, which is your E. Then you will have D, which is your latency stage. ठीक है? And then you will have C, which is your genital stage. ठीक है? So which becomes a correct answer? B becomes a correct answer. Okay? All right. And this is the psychosexual theory of development. This has been given by whom? This has been given by Sigmund Freud. Okay. This is also known as the 5-stage theory of development. Chaliye. Next question. Source traits are stable, result as the interaction between surface trait, considered as building blocks of personality. They're generally highly generalized dispositions. Okay. So first of all, yes, it is stable. This is true. Fine. Result as an interaction of surface trait? No. Surface trait are a reaction to the interaction between your source trait. Fine. This is not there. These are building blocks of personality. Absolutely correct. They're not generalized dispositions. Okay. So your correct answer is going to be A and C. So 3 becomes your correct answer. Okay. All right. So again, you have to match the following over here, guys. Very easy this is. Okay. So let's start with the easiest one. Fine. Cultural approach. Okay. Understands personality in relation to the features of ecological and cultural environment. So this is going to be D. So D का हो जाएगा 1. Fine. Then you have the interactional approach. So interactional approach will be the situational factors play an important role. Okay, this is going to be 3. Type approach is what? Type approach basically focuses on, so examine certain broad patterns हो जाएगा ये, या फिर focuses on identifying the primary behavior. So examine certain broad patterns observed in behavioral characteristics. Okay. So this is going to be what? Broad patterns, यानी कि broad categorization जो है वो होगा यहाँ पे. Fine. So what will we have? You will have your broad categorization. So type is going to be 4. Trait is focuses on primary characteristics of people. This is going to be 3. So A ka 3, B ka 4. Okay. So 3 becomes what? Your correct answer. ठीक है? चलिए. I hope you're understanding the questions. All right. Next question that we have is, which technique of personality assessment puts individuals into certain categories in terms of their behavioral qualities? Okay, so which method will put people into categories? So we have interview, okay, we have behavioral rating, nomination, situational test. All right, now interview, you don't put people into categories, fine. What you left is these three. Remember what nomination was? It was generally used with school students. So what do? So the teacher is going to call a student, and then a group project is going to be announced. Then they will ask the student, the group head, to nominate people who they want in their group. All right. So they will do that definitely, and then they will nominate the people who they want to be in their group, and then the teacher will ask them as to why they did so. What are the qualities of this person that makes them fit to be a part of your group? Okay, so that is your nomination, fine. Then you have situational test. This is also known as your situational stress test, guys. Okay, what do you mean by the stress test over here? So basically what you have to do is you want to see how an individual reacts in a stressful situation. Okay, you put that person in various stressful situations. This can be real life or it can be experimental. You have to ask the people around to be very non-cooperative. Okay, so which one is left? What is left is behavioral rating. So here is the one where you categorize people into extreme scale. All right, we have biases also, extreme category bias, middle category bias. Okay, so this is going to be 2 is going to be your answer. All right, next. Very simple question, very easy question. According to Jung, analytical psychology, God and mother are examples of superiority complex, superego, archetypes, or basic anxiety. Very simple. If you remember the definition, you'll be able to answer. It is an example of archetypes. ठीक है? Next question. Tendency of a subject to agree with items irrespective of their content is called acquiescence, okay, halo effect, social desirability, extreme response bias. Okay, so which one do you think is the correct answer over here? The correct answer over here is obviously going to be acquiescence, fine, where you have to agree to the terms and conditions of the question paper even though it might not apply to you, fine. Halo effect is when you put a person on a pedestal, fine. Social desirability is giving answers which are socially desirable. Extreme response bias is when you put a person on the extremes of scales, either too good or too bad. Okay? Okay. Next question. As an actor, the self actively engages in the process of knowing itself. The status is known as self as subject, self as object, okay? So ideal self or real self. Now, when a person is engaging in knowing itself, then it is self as subject, right? When the person is getting known by someone, it is self as object, okay? Ideal self is what you want to be. Real self is what you actually are, fine? So these are the various differences that you have over here. Chalo. Next. The client-centered therapy developed by Carl Rogers is based on psychodynamic, cognitive, behavioral, humanistic. ठीक है? So जो हमारा client-centered therapy है guys, it basically again believes in self-actualization, right? That is reaching your fullest potential possible. Okay, so when they're talking about reaching your fullest potential possible, it is going to be based on what? It is going to be based on humanistic existential therapy. Okay, so it is going to be 4. Next, who is not associated with trait approach of personality? Costa and Mukhre, ठीक है? Alport, Sheldon, Cattell. Alright. Which of them following is not associated with trait approach of personality? So you have to tell me that which of the following is not associated with trait approach. Fine. So we have Gordon Allport, trait approach theory, Cattell's personality factor also. Fine. If you remember, Sheldon actually is a type approach theorist, right? He is given a type approach where he has divided people on the basis of body temperaments, right? So it is what? On the basis of body temperaments, right? Ectomorphs, mesomorphs, like that. Fine. So Sheldon is definitely going to be what? Sheldon is definitely not associated with trait approach because Sheldon is associated with type approach. Okay. So correct answer is 3, Sheldon. Because Sheldon is dividing people on the basis of their body temperaments, mesomorph, ectomorphs and endomorphs. ठीक है? Next. Who developed the thematic appreciation test, guys? This is again very simple. This is a very factual one. It was Morgan and Murray who developed the thematic appreciation test or TAT. ठीक है? Okay. What is the full form of PTSD? It's post-traumatic stress disorder. So, post-traumatic stress disorder, not pre-traumatic, not post-traumatic situational, not pre-traumatic situational. It is post-traumatic stress disorder. So, 1 is going to be your correct answer. Okay, next. All right. Tinku has been undergoing rational emotive therapy. Identify the consequences of the therapeutic process. ठीक है? And you have to identify this in a sequence. मतलब आपको identify करना है कि कौन-कौन सा correct है. ठीक है? So, negative emotions and behaviors are consequences of the antecedent event. Identified and noted. This is true. ठीक है? Then, client's irrational beliefs are distorting a present person's reality, which is identified. Yes. Antecedent events which cause psychological distress are also noted. ठीक है? The irrational beliefs are refuted, ठीक है, through non-directive questioning. Okay. Eventually, the client is able to replace the irrational beliefs with rational ones. All right, rational emotive therapy. So, I think आपको बताना है, इसमें आपको basically current sequence identify करनी है. ठीक है? You have to identify the correct sequence. What is happening after what? Sorry, मैंने true लिख दिया. What is happening after what? You have to identify the correct sequence. Fine. So, first of all, obviously, the negative emotions and behaviors are noted. ठीक है? Then, what is happening? Client's irrational beliefs are identified. So, what is the first thing? Negative emotions and behaviors are consequence of antecedent event, which is identified and noted. Client's irrational beliefs, which are distorting the reality, is identified. Antecedent events which cause distress is also noted. ठीक है? Because first of all, you have to notice the irrational belief, isn't it? Okay? So, first of all, you note the negative emotions and behaviors. Alright. Then you wrote the irrational beliefs of the person because it is the consequence of this. Fine. Then you understand the antecedent event which has caused that distress. Okay. Then, what is the next thing that you do? Irrational beliefs are refuted through non-directive questioning. Absolutely. Eventually, the client is able to replace irrational beliefs with rational ones. Okay. This is actually organized. So, it is A, B, C, D, E. 4 becomes your correct answer. ठीक है? Next. Who used the concept of balance in his theory of attitude change? Leon Festinger, Fritz Heider, Richard Lapierre or Gordon Allport? It's a very factual one, guys. It's Fritz Heider. He was the one who gave the concept of balance in attitude change. Again, a very simple question. Which one of the following is not a significant property of attitude? Valence, yes, whether it's positive or negative. Centrality, whether the attitude is central or not. Extremeness, how positive and how negative are you? And quantity. So, quantity is not a property. So, 4 becomes your correct answer. Okay? Alright. Next. Who proposed the two-step concept to describe the process of attitude change? A. Mohsin, B. Haider, C. Janis, 4. Triplet. Okay? This was actually proposed by Mohsin. The concept of what? The two-step concept. What is this two-step concept? Where you have a source and a target, right? The source is the person who will bring about the change. Target is the person whose attitude changes to be brought about, right? Source obviously has positive attitude towards the target. The target has a lot of respect and identification for the source. Okay? What is the first step? The first step is that the source will start identifying, source will start respecting the target will start identifying with the source, and hence there is going to be an attitude change. ठीक है? तो ये मोहसिन ने आइडेंटिफाई किया. ठीक है? चलिए. Next. Festinger and Carl Smith conducted a famous experiment in the field of social psychology. This experiment was related to A. Groupthink, B. Prejudice, C. Cognitive dissonance, or 4. Schema. So, it's again a very factual question, guys. This is related to what? This is related to cognitive dissonance. Okay. So, they conducted an experiment regarding cognitive dissonance to show how uncomfortable it is, alright, and how we want to change it. Okay. Alright. So, guys, we will discuss till here in this particular video. But the next question is something which I'm going to leave for you. I would want you to answer this in the comment section. Alright. Let's just understand the next question. And this is something I want you all to discuss in the next class. Alright. This is something I want you all to give answers also in the comment section. So, which of the following strategies are non-effective in dealing with prejudice? Minimizing opportunities for learning prejudices, encouraging the tendency towards self-fulfilling prophecy among victims of prejudice, changing discriminatory attitudes, de-emphasizing a narrow social identity based on the in-group. Okay. So, this is the question which I want you all to answer for yourself. Alright. I want you to give this answer in the comment section. So, I'm giving you 2 questions from here to give answers in the comment section. This is something which I will take up in the next video for sure. So, I will be taking up questions from here in the next video. Alright. So, I really hope that you've understood each and every question. You've understood each and every answer. If there's any difficulty, any problem that you might have in questions, please feel free to let me know. मुझे ज़रूर बताइएगा. Just drop in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to address your doubts. Alright. And before I leave, guys, I do want to inform you about something, and that is the preparation course. Okay. So, we have all of these preparation course which is available for CUET, alright. We have CUET UG, okay. So, we have this in Hindi and in English both. We have General plus English, General Test plus Hindi. We have CUET English language, we have CUET Hindi language as well, okay. Apart from this, we also have combo courses in humanities, alright. We have English, we have Hindi. We have board plus CUET, we have board plus CUET humanities, alright. So, these are the various courses which are available. We also have combo courses for commerce. So, anyone who wants to opt for it can opt for it, okay. We also have combo courses for science. So, if you want to opt for it, you can. You have board plus CUET as well, or you have just CUET as well. This is for CUET UG, okay. Alright. Apart from that, we also have board and CUET humanities course. This is also available in Hindi and in English. Both is available. Fine. We also have CUET commerce courses combination. So all of these are various courses which are available. These are single courses that you can take. Some of them are also combination courses which you can take. All right. The mediums, various mediums are available. We also have books available over here. These are your books for general aptitude test. We have this in Hindi language. We have English language as well. Okay, so these are various books which are available. So you can just go on the Drishti Learning app. All right, and you can definitely purchase these courses. If you want to have more clarification, you can also call on the customer care number. All right, so that's about it for this video. I really hope that you were able to clear all of your doubts, and I really hope that you understood all the questions. Just in case you have any doubt, please feel free to drop in a comment in the comment section, and I'll be more than happy to address your doubts. If there's any issue, please feel free to let me know. So this is me. I'm signing off. So thank you so much, guys, for joining me over here. It was an absolute pleasure to have you all. I will now see you in the next video. Till then, please take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.
अब एग्जाम की तैयारी को और बेहतर करने के लिए हमारे चैनल को लाइक, शेयर और सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलें।